When you see the signs of the times, Matthew 24, again, one of the great eschatological scriptures in the Bible, or sections of scripture in the Bible, one of the great sources of intrigue, one of the great sources of bad doctrine, one of the great sources of fear and doubt and worry. And we're talking about that today here on the New Cosmic Knowledge channel. What do you do when you see the signs of the times? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Glad to have you here with us. We live in a crazy world. I've had a terrible day, but you know what? I'm still here. I'm still going strong. I'm still fighting the good fight. And as long as I have breath in my body, I'll continue to fight the good fight. And I'll continue to do all that I know to do to be able to bring this message to you, because this message is really the only thing that matters anymore. And let's go ahead and go right into the scriptures. I was talking with Derek Brose, and he said that the morning mantra that I did today was masterful. I really appreciate that. It means a whole lot, especially coming from Derek. And I hope that you watch it. I hope that you watch the follow-up. We were talking about every idle word being heard. We were talking about blaspheming the Holy Spirit. So I do hope that you'll take advantage of watching those, because they were pretty powerful stuff. And we're here in Matthew 24. And if you know anything about Matthew 24, you know, Jesus, the Christ, the Master, they're walking past the temple. The disciples are really impressed about the temple. The Master says, don't get that impressed, because the day is coming when these things will be pulled down. They said, what are these signs? He talks about false Christ, witnessing to all nations, abomination of desolation, which is the destruction of Jerusalem. All of these things. And then he says this to them, you know, the lightning came out of the east, even to the west. We talked about that. What was it, yesterday? Enlightenment, the tribulation, all of this stuff. And then he says this, and this gets forgotten, this gets overlooked, this gets to the place where we don't even really pay any attention to it. Down here in verse number 33, he says, so when you start to see these things, know that these events are near. Know that these events are even at the doors. This generation's not going to pass away till all these things be fulfilled. And that's because he's talking to those people that were gathered there in that day, that were actually going to see Jerusalem encompassed about with armies, that were actually going to see the temple destroyed, that were actually going to see the abomination of desolation, the Roman army standing where it should not be. So those people, that generation, did not pass until all these things were fulfilled that he was talking about. And then in a metaphorical and in a prophetic sense, he says, but not only that, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. So there comes a day, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to this abomination of desolation, in addition to this great event that happened in AD 70 in Jerusalem, there comes another day. And that day that we were talking about there, AD 70, Jerusalem passed away. Judaism almost effectively passed away. The original Messianic movement almost passed away. If not for the intrepid minds that hid things out in the deserts of Qumran, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi scriptures, we would never even probably known. The Romans thought that they destroyed it all. Why do you think they pulled down every single stone of the temple and even plowed the place where it stood? They were trying to exterminate every bit of the original movement of the Master, and they were trying to get the gold from between the bricks too. So let's be honest, it was it was at least a dual motivation. But in that day, Jerusalem passed away. But there's another day when heaven and earth as we know it are going to pass away. But these words, the words that he speaks and the words that he's spoken, they won't pass away. So when we begin to see these type of things happening, we need to know a few things. Number one, we need to know it's a false flag event. Plastic Jesus is not coming back to save you. No one's coming back to save you. If there is any of this eschatological, if there are any eschatological events of this nature, they are false flag related. And you need to understand that. Do not be duped by plastic Jesus. Do not be duped by plastic aliens. Do not be duped by plastic politicians. Do not be duped by plastic saviors, because our plastic Pleiadians or plastic blue avians, they're all lies. And of that day, no man really knows, not the angels of heaven. The Father knows. And as the days of Noah were, so will also be this second days, when these things where heaven and earth will pass away, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, same old stuff going on. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to realize, whoa, bad things are going to happen. It's going to be the same thing. And nobody's really going to know till the flood comes and takes us all away. No one's going to know. So he says, what do you do when you see the signs of the times? You don't get upset. You don't start buying books by Tim LaHaye and Jenkins. You don't start going to terrible movies because they're talking about the rapture and Left Behind and all that stuff. You start to see the formation of false flag potentialities. When you start to see things like the Project Bluebeam, and you start to see things like this holographic technology that's coming about. When you start to see these things, what did the Master say? When you start to see these things, watch, tune in, get ready, Freddy, because you don't know when it's going to happen. And we're not talking about the Lord really coming, because again, no one's coming back to save us. We're talking about these things happening. You don't know exactly what they've got planned. You don't know exactly when they've got it planned. But watch, because if you understood that a thief was going to come and break into your house, and what a ridiculous idea it is that the God, the good guy, would come like a thief. Who comes like a thief? A thief comes with a mask. A thief comes not wanting to be seen. A thief comes to steal, to kill, to destroy. So tell me how the divine could come like a thief in the night. It doesn't even make sense. Because it's not the divine that's coming. It's a usurper. This is encrypted and coded messaging for you. And if you were watching, and if you knew when this thief was going to come, you would watch and not have suffered your house to be broken up. And if you watch New Cosmic Knowledge, if you watch Global Witness, if you watch WSO, if you watch Naughty Beaver, if you watch Wayne Steiger, if you watch Rex Bear, if you watch Heidi Vandenberg and Jenny Moonstone, and I could go on and on and on, you're going to know. You're going to know that something's up. You're going to know that something's coming, and you don't need any of us. All you have to do is look around and take a little inventory to know. And you won't have your house broken up. You won't have your spiritual house decimated. So just be ready, because you never know when they're going to try to pull their end time false flag and take you down. When you see the signs of the times, he didn't say buy a bunker. He didn't say buy meals ready to eat. He didn't say buy a bunch of water. He said get ready, watch. Now, if you want to do those things, I'm not opposed to those things, but begin to do things to spiritually prepare yourself, because you're only going to make it spiritually. And who is the wise and the faithful servant? The faithful and wise servant is the one that when he sees, or when she sees the signs of the times, what does she do? She starts working. They start working. He finds us so doing. He finds us making videos. He finds us talking to people. He finds us exposing error. He finds us espousing truth. He finds us loving our neighbor. He finds us loving ourselves. He finds us doing our inner work. He finds us trying to get some truth to a dying world. He's looking for somebody to give meat in due season. He gives us some meat, some things that are sustenance and food for people. And those of us that are giving this meat to other people in due season, in the time that they need to have it, blessed is that servant whom the divine finds doing that. And he's going to make us ruler of all his goods. Not over all of the divine's goods, but finally ruler over our goods. We'll be ruler over our destiny. We'll be ruler over who we are. We'll be ruler over our future. We'll have the choice. We'll be divine. We'll be sovereign. We'll be free. But if you see the signs of the times, you're like, it's always happened this way. And you treat people unfairly, and you treat people cruelly, and you just eat and drink and you get drunk like nothing's changed, and it's no big deal. It's going to come upon you when you're not expecting, and you're going to have a portion with the hypocrites where they'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. There's a lot of things that I don't want to be in this world, and probably the chief one of those is a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be counted with the hypocrites. Not in any way, not in any shape, not in any form. I want to be watching. I want to try to be ready. I want to try to be doing all that I can do and being all that I can be, to be in a place where I'm at a place to be able to see what's going on and to be able to be doing the right thing at the right time. This work is all that matters to me. Let me rephrase that. This work is the most important thing in my life. This work is why I'm alive. And there's other things in my life that support this and make it better and make it stronger and make me better and make me stronger. But the day that other things begin to draw me away from this work, the day that other things begin to make me less effective in this work, is the day that those things have to go. It's just the way it is. People, places, things, ideas, thoughts. We've got to make the main thing the main thing. We've got to make the big thing the big thing. We've got to major on majors. We've got to be divine. We've got to be sovereign. We've got to be free. And we've got to be about the Father's business. We've got to be about the Mother's business. Especially in times like these where we see technologies being deployed that could very easily bring about these false flag scenarios that are talked about in Matthew 24. When we see the technologies being deployed that could very easily bring about these scenarios that we see talked about within the book of Revelation. And we've got to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. We've got to be being whom we're supposed to be being. We have to live, as Shane says, for our great work or our great basic purpose. We have to. Because without it, we're just like all the other men that Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. I don't want to live a nothing at all life. I want to live a daring adventure life. I want to be divine. I want to be sovereign. I want to be free. And I'm looking around. And if you didn't see the program last night on WSO channel with Steve Olson and Derek Bros Global Witness, you need to check that out because it was very powerful and it's guaranteed to upset you. They make me look mild. They make me look sweet. They make me look easy. They make me look like Pixie sometimes. But don't let Pixie fool you. She brings some heavy truths. And I'm looking forward to having her back on the show again, back on this channel again. But I see the signs of the times. I see the deployment of technologies. I see the deployment of attitudes. I see the positioning of pieces on the global, it was on WSO's channel, on the global chessboard, if you will. And I understand that we're looking at signs of the times. We know that Matthew 24 had its fulfillment in AD 70 when Jerusalem was destroyed. We also know that the Jesuit agenda is crafting an end time or a future Matthew 24. It won't be real. It won't be authentic. It'll be a fake. It'll be a phony. It'll be a fraud. It'll be a deception. But it might be, unless people like WSO and Nadi and Derek and I and you know, Rex and Wayne and everybody else, unless we can bring enough information to you to where we get it out too much to where they can't do it anymore. We can expose their agenda, and their agenda becomes ineffective. That's why I'm here for the third time today on a Saturday when I should have been at a birthday party, bringing you some broadcast excellence. Because it's the most important thing in the world right now. And for those of you that write me, and those of you that put comments on my channel telling me what a bad guy Derek Brose is, and telling me what a deceiver he is, and telling me about I shouldn't have anything to do with him, just shut up. Just shut up. He's a great brother. He's a great friend. I'm not saying he's perfect, and I'm not saying that I agree with everything that he says, even though I think I do. But you're not going to convince me, and you're not going to be given a forum here for bashing a friend of mine. Not going to do it. Not going to happen. So save yourself the time and save me the energy of hitting the delete button. And, but if you keep writing, it does give me a chance to practice my transmutation and to practice my not getting upset at idiocy and stupidity. So, everything has its purpose. But now you know what to do when you see the signs of the times coming to pass. You're the last generation of real humans. When you see the signs of the times, get busy. Let's go into the chat room and see if there's anything that I need to address in here. Saving starts and ends at the home within. I like it. You seem like a Christian preacher. I think I've been insulted, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've been insulted, but that's okay. Former Christian preacher, 20 years. Sometimes it's hard to get that stuff out of you. You pay attention to the times, but if we watch for signs, are we not a first generation? Yeah, I mean, the master said it's a wicked and an adulterous generation that seeks after signs. So we're not seeking them. We know that they're false. We know that they're flawed. We know that they're fraud. But when we see governmental and religious and cultural entities crafting this narrative, we say, okay, they're trying to put something together. They're not going to put me together. I'm on to their stuff, but they're trying to put something together. Let me take notice of this and let me go to work, because we're the last generation of real humans, and we got to get this message out there. So that's what I'm talking about. Prepare like a spiritual Boy Scout. I like that. Brian Parker, tactical sovereignty. Remember, the Bible's corrupted by the adversary. Absolutely. I thought that too, Brian. Is God a literal person or what? I think there is an inexpressible one. I believe there's Father. I believe there's Mother. Yes, I believe there is a true divine being. I really do. I think I saw Michelle Thompson. Nice to see you. At least we are trying. Absolutely. Robert says he's enjoyed the journey so far with Jeff. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. We must live for our great work. Thank you so much. Love matters. It does take inner work. Absolutely. Still searching for my thing. We'll keep searching. It'll find it. Being authentic in a fake world is very difficult. It will be our government, probably. Gemma, thank you so much for saying I'm right. Chantal, I can't hear that enough. See the times and signs, but not watching for them as to cover ourselves. Absolutely. Would you say that if I told you I'm being targeted by the other side? Kitty, I think there's a lot of us that are being targeted by the other side right now. I think there's a lot of, I think the enemy is in overdrive, attacking people that are threats to him and to his agenda. I don't know if there is an enemy, but there's a lot of many enemies working for him. And I think we are being attacked. There's a lot of people. I could go down the list, but I don't want to go down and bust anybody out. There's a lot of people that are being attacked. And yes, We definitely are. And it's time for us to realize what is going on. Perverse generation, wicked generation, because of the Jesuit deception, and how you can still believe it, I don't know. What's wrong with you? Come on, man. People do love Derek. They do watch Derek and WSO. Glad to hear that. Says he can actually relate. Chaos is growing. You can't fix stupid. Preaching is in his blood. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Makes a lot of sense, though. Religious institutions are mass mind control. Absolutely. No doubt about it. I didn't attack twin flame relationships, I don't believe. If it confirms you're on the right path to be attacked, stay steadfast. I agree. 100%. So there you go, folks. Now you know what to do when you see the signs of the times. Remember, they're false. And start being ready, because they're trying to craft a false flag narrative. Make sure you don't get caught up in it. And more than anything else, make sure you get yourself into a place spiritually and mentally and emotionally where you can not only survive, but you can thrive, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we are called to. That's what we're empowered to be. Oh, twin flame relationships being attacked. I would say yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt, because twin flame relationships are probably one of the great threats to the fear and guilt matrix control agenda crowd. And that's all I got. We're going to get Derek back on the channel very soon. His name is Derek Bros. Global Witness. Look up his channel. It's on my front page of this YouTube channel. And there's a lot of good stuff coming up. Keep asking questions. Keep questioning answers. Keep unindoctrinating yourself. Keep creating yourself, building a life that you'll love. It is an inside job, ladies and gentlemen. And you're the last generation of real humans. For goodness sakes, let's get busy. Love and light to everyone. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge.